Most people know St. Patrick as the day to drink Guinness, wear green, pinch people who don't wear green if you're not Irish. Well, you pretend to be for the day. But who really was St. Patrick? The truth will surprise you. Let's separate fact from fiction. First, the real St. Patrick was not Irish.
You mean Ireland? Yeah, it's mine.
St. Patrick was born in Great Britain to wealthy parents near the end of the 4th century. He's believed to have died on March 17th, 460 AD, hence the date for St. Patrick's Day. And his name was not Patrick. Patrick is the name he took when he began his work as a priest. The name in Latin means nobleman or can mean father figure. He also wasn't technically a saint. Despite his status as a patron saint, St. Patrick was never actually canonized by the church during his lifetime, because the process didn't exist when he died. And while St. Patrick has not been formally canonized, many consider him to hold saintly status. It's like an honorary doctorate, but for sainthood. And he didn't really banish the snakes in Ireland. Among the legends of St. Patrick is that he stood atop an Irish hillside and said,
Why did it have to be snakes?
Banishing all the snakes from Ireland, they all slither away into the sea. Now that's a really cool sounding story. It's not true. Research shows snakes were never on the Emerald Islands in the first place. And he didn't convert the whole nation of Ireland, nor was he the first to bring the gospel to the island. There was a missionary sent 5 years before he went. And whether he used a 3-leaf clover to explain the Trinity to the pagans and thus popularizing the shamrock, it's possible, but it's unlikely. So who then was St. Patrick? Well, at the age of 16, Patrick was taken prisoner by a group of Irish raiders who were attacking his family's estate. They transported him to Ireland, where he spent 6 years in captivity. Patrick's master, Milchu, he was a high priest of Druidism, a pagan sect that had major religious influence over the country at the time. And so Patrick worked the hillsides as a shepherd. Far from civilization, he was lonely and afraid. He turned to faith for solace, became a devout Christian, and spent those 6 years in steadfast prayer. And one fateful night, while he was tending the sheep, he has a dream. And in the dream, he heard a voice telling him, soon you will be returning to your own country. He then had another dream, and he hears this: come and see where your ship is waiting for you. At 22, he escapes, travels 200 miles to the coast of Ireland. Patrick approached one of the men on the ship that rested on the coach, and when he asked to board, the seaman growled at him. And Patrick started to leave when the man called him back, saying, the other passengers want you on board. This journey by boat was long. It included a stop where they were on land for 28 days. Having run out of food, the captain turned to Patrick and challenged him. Go ahead, ask God for more. Gladly, Patrick responded, and he prayed, turn trustingly to the Lord, who is my God. Put your faith in him with all your heart, for nothing is impossible for him. On this day, he will send us food sufficient for our journey. According to Patrick's autobiography, when the men turned around, a herd of pigs was standing before them. They feasted for days and gave thanks to God. When he finally made it back to Britain, he was wrapped up in his parents' arms. They begged him to never leave again. Patrick then spends 15 years studying to become a priest. And then one night he has a dream. And in the dream, he sees a man who seemed to be from Ireland, and he was carrying a letter that said the voice of Irish. In the dream, as he read the words, he heard the voice of the men he worked with shouting,
Holy broth of a boy, we beg you, come back and walk once more among us.
Patrick then knew right there that he must return to Ireland. No longer a boy, he returned as a man in his 40s. The previous priest sent to the island, very little success in his mission. But Patrick came, and he was intimately aware of the Irish clan system and knew he must convert his former master for Christianity to spread. It's reported that Milchu, the former slave master, was one of the earliest converts. Patrick then began preaching the gospel all through Ireland, converting many wherever he went. He and his disciples converted thousands. They built churches all over the country. Patrick would preach all through Ireland for 40 years. And he instilled his deep appreciation for the written words of the Bible into the Celtic Church, transforming it into the most knowledgeable group of churches in Western Europe during the early Middle Ages. Upon arriving in Ireland, he encountered a predominantly illiterate society. However, within just 2 generations, the Celtic Church had become exceptionally illiterate thanks to Patrick's influence. His legacy included the gift of literacy, greatly benefiting the Irish people. And at the heart of his theology was the doctrine of the Trinity. This passion can be found in his book, Confession. The Celtic church that he founded was deeply rooted in the Trinity. His churches were model churches of the day. You see, the facts are far better than the fiction.